Oh. Welcome to Meaningful Mornings. Yoga is described as a complete science. One of the reasons for this science is an aid for us to feel complete. We all know that. Another reason why yoga is described as a complete science, this is accessible to all. Complete means open. There's no barriers to entry. I hope you've observed in Meaningful Mornings, whether it's making sense of stress or Jivan Sutrani, and now Bhagavad Gita, that there's a message for every seeker. There's a way to practice for every seeker. Meaningful Mornings is a workshop on yoga. The vision, bringing this to our lifestyle. The term Sanatana Dharma in English means infinite nature. Sanatana, infinite. Dharma, nature. This is defined as a noun. Sanatana Dharma can also be defined as a verb. In English, unchanging responsibility. Sanatana, unchanging. Dharma, responsibility. Shifting this from the macro to the micro. Dharma as a noun means responsibility. Your dharma, my dharma is different. Our Sanatana Dharma is not. And dharma as a verb means that which integrates. Our responsibilities are the means to integration. Body to mind, mind to intellect. Yesterday I shared a visualization with you about, in a mandir, having a relationship with Nandi to be able to be with Bhagwan Shiva. And one is to never cross between Nandi and Bhagwan Shiva. Personally, what this means is, this is our path. And Bhagwan Shiva, or the icon for joy, loves us, has shared this path with us. This is accessible to all. We should feel loved, that we can be joyous. That's why we should never cross between Nandi and Bhagwan Shiva or be irresponsible. We are ever presented with the opportunity to live yoga, and that is perpetual betterment. Literally, everything that happens to you, happens to me, is the key to becoming better and better and better, to become the best. And don't think of this only in terms of skills and success. Think of this in terms of happiness. A better happiness, a better happiness, a better happiness, to the best happiness, which is independent. Before your experiences, whether cooking and cleaning or organizing and firing, pray for a quiet mind so that you understand this is your means to the ends. Where is it? It's not in a studio. It's not in a book. It is the Creator who loves you and has given you a custom designed creation to come back home to your nature. We continue in verse 34. Sri Krishna shares with Prince Arjuna more specifically, if he is irresponsible, what he will feel. The second line in this verse is a famous line. Do note that. Akirtim chapi bhutani katayishyanti te vyayam sambhavitasya cha kirtihi maranad atirichyate. The first quarter. Bhutani, beings, specifically the warriors who have gathered at Kurukshetra. All 4 million on Prince Arjuna's side and those against Prince Arjuna. What will they think and say towards Prince Arjuna? Akirtihi. They will remember him for being a coward. Akirtihi, one who's dishonored. More personally, one who compromised on his ideal, her ideal. You can interpret the word kirtihi, akirtihi literally in the sense of honor or position. Prince Arjuna never tried to be one who's popular, to be one who's powerful. This was his natural propensity. When he was studying under Acharya Drona, he naturally became the best student. If you reflect on his spouse, Draupadi, he is the one whom Draupadi loved. And he shared with his brothers. But he was the catalyst. In the Mahabharata, there's a portion where Prince Arjuna even fights against Bhagwan Shiva. And Bhagwan Shiva is so impressed by Prince Arjuna, he changes his name from Arjuna to Vijaya, the one who's invincible. And my point here is that Prince Arjuna never overtly tried to be like this. This is just his personality. He's awesome. Katayishanti te avyayam. All of these beings will describe your dishonor forever. Avyayam. A subtle point here. Each of the Pandavas had a specific weakness. Yudhishthira's weakness, his propensity to gamble. Bhima's weakness, his propensity for sensuality. He loved to cook and eat. And he's also described as being the most romantic of the Pandavas. So sensuality. With Nakula, it was intelligence. Vanity towards his intelligence. And Sahadeva, his beauty, his vanity towards being handsome. With Prince Arjuna, it was not a specific weakness he had, but rather a subtle arrogance in how accomplished he was. And I'm using the word subtle because when you're living in a worldly way and you keep on winning, it's almost inevitable to feel this. We also observed this in our devotional course with Uddhava. So knowledgeable, but there is that arrogance that knowledge is more important or takes precedent over bhakti or love. So Shri Krishna's using Prince Arjuna's personality to help him grow. He doesn't want to be the one who's a coward, who compromised. See, for someone unpopular like me, who cares if someone calls me a coward? I receive those physical remarks from my kids and my family all the time. Do you understand how he's using Prince Arjuna's personality to teach? That's what makes a master teacher, how well they understand their student. Sambhavitasya cha kirtihi, for the one who is honored. When dishonor comes into their life, maranat atirichyate, that is worse than death. I'm going to take this to a very deep level. You can interpret this literally and you don't need me to explain. For someone who's very popular, if their Twitter account is closed, I'm not saying that this actually happened to someone. That's worse than death for them, correct? I'm not describing myself, okay? The opportunity Prince Arjuna has and that we have is an opportunity not for position, but rather for vasana kshaya. Vasana kshaya means to lighten our limits. And so if Prince Arjuna doesn't engage in this, he's not going to become a better person. Culturally, remember the Pandavas and Shri Krishna have tried all alternatives to not engage in war, but none of those were received, so there is no other choice. Correct? In movies, when I observe, a just police officer will give many alternatives for one to stop doing that which is wrong, but when there's no alternative, even if they're going to harm themselves, that has to be stopped, correct? They've tried that. So for us, every opportunity we have, forget about this idea of being popular, is an opportunity for lightening our limits. To follow dharma, one has to be humble. It is Prince Arjuna's subtle arrogance that is pushing him towards being irresponsible. In dharma, your mind is quiet. There are no exceptions. You cheerfully and dynamically engage your responsibilities, knowing that this will lead you to joy. That humility, Prince Arjuna is being encouraged to develop. Maranat atirichyate, worse than death. And see, to really appreciate this, you have to approach this from a vasana perspective. See, if Prince Arjuna escapes, then the whole purpose of his present field is wasted. But if Prince Arjuna dies, there's still growth. Yes? We've covered many verses like that if Vivek dies today and I'm relatively young, me dying shows that I've learned all I could right now, right? And so now I can keep growing. That's why this is shared, that death is better than wasting an opportunity. And the terminology that Swami Chinmayananda uses, escaping or being irresponsible, makes one continue to feel the pressure of one's vasanas or limits. And that may sound abstract, so I'll give you a tactile way for you to reflect on this. In our recent satsang on attachment versus love, I'd given a gauge to everyone about compartmentalizing their thoughts. If someone insults you, if someone betrays you, if someone is mean to you, if you're able to compartmentalize that, think about it and then stop thinking about it. This shows that you don't have the pressure of those vasanas that are overtaking you. But if you can't control your thoughts, this shows that we're not making the best use of the opportunities for us. Keep reflecting on this. I'll share more in the coming mornings. From inspiration to application. Your application yesterday was, what is your niti? What is the parameter by which you're living? And you're welcome to share. Whether you've written this down or you're just thinking about it, now don't compromise on it. Our workshop is not to be a good person. Our workshop is to become great and then to become God. Don't compromise on your niti. Here is your application for this morning. I want you to rate the agility of your mind. Rate the agility of your mind. 1 is awful, 100 is awesome. Agility means you can think of a subject, then stop thinking about it and think of another subject. Makes sense? Compartmentalizing. So you rate your own agility. Shanti, Shanti, Shantihi. Be safe, be sound, be serene, be happiness.